What's going on, guys? Welcome to the first daily spy video. I'm going to start trying to get a daily video recap of the overall market, mainly focused on the spy, to go over certain news catalysts or just go over some price action, whatever we had going on in that day. I want to start putting out that kind of content that will really help you guys get a feel for what's going on under the hood, under the engine of the overall market. So this morning was kind of interesting. Um, woke up at about 8 o'clock. We had two press releases out, two of which I thought were going to have a pretty drastic impact on the market. Both seem to have been ignored by at least our markets here in the United States. That was uh, North Korea and Trump deal completely going through. I think they said that Trump just like completely walked out of the meeting with Kim Jong Un. Something pretty interesting. I don't know too much about it. There hasn't been a lot of info. The only info out is that no deal was struck. Okay, that doesn't sound too good. Trump must have just didn't like what was on the table and just walked out because he's stubborn when it comes to that. Um, Again, we don't know. Second of all, we had a nice GDP number come in at 2.6% versus 2.2, which was the expectation. So it was a beat on the GDP growth. That's definitely a nice sign to see. Um, Either way, the markets didn't really react too much to it. We were kind of flat pre-market, gapping down from the overall previous close down here, but nothing crazy, not a substantial number. Um, what I want to look at is yesterday's number. This is the 279.43 resistance that we have from our daily chart. Um, like I say, I give out these daily resistance and support lines before the session, and you could see how well price reacts to these numbers on the 5-minute chart throughout the day. With that being said, we failed to break yesterday's highs, which were these long wicks. Ultimately, this same 279.43 resistance held as our high of the day today as well. We failed to surpass yesterday's highs and also failed to surpass yesterday's lows. That's going to be an indication for an inside day. Inside days usually result in a pop in either direction. So if we break to the upside, we'll get a nice momentum spike towards the upside. Or if we do break these lows and come out on the downside, we have momentum to the downside as well as we have our downside targets down here. Um, with that being said, we traded um, kind of in a tight range today, a little bit. Nothing too crazy, about $1 a share from top to bottom. So at the open, we shot up. We really stalled around the pre-market highs. That's what I was looking for. Nothing too crazy. There was a bunch of resistance in this area to begin with, and that opening sell-off was pretty nasty at first. Almost $1 a share, 80 cents a share from the top to bottom. You got these nice red candles. A lot of guys capitalized on that. Initially, I was looking for the failure of this 279 level, which was, I want to say Monday's open. Monday's open. They're still marked up on this chart. As you can see, it was pretty heavily involved level throughout the entire session. I was looking for that to fail, but the Bulls ultimately, they haven't given up whatsoever. They've had every opportunity they've handed the opportunity to the Bears numerous times after failing that triple top initially. But they're still holding tight. We have that inside day, so I'm curious to see which way this pops out. We do have our bottom in place from today's session at 278.47 and the top at 279.43, which is a 2-day high. So ultimately, we can look for this resistance to break in tomorrow's session. The daily chart, the MACD is a little flat. It's looking across. Momentum's kind of drying up. We're looking to see which side wants to take control of the markets right now. We're in a holding period. Like I said, we traded sideways a lot today. We were bouncing around off of our levels pretty nicely to give us, a nice trading range to scalp or swing trade. We had a triple bottom down here too with an overextended MACD on the downside. Could have picked up some shares here and rode them. Nonetheless, overall, what we can take away from today's market is that we didn't test yesterday's lows and we didn't break yesterday's highs. We held at yesterday's highs. So what we're going to look for tomorrow is a break of this 279.43 resistance or a break of these lows here at 278.47. And if those ultimately break, we can test the lows from this sell-off over here. Needless to say, we're going to see what has to happen overnight. We'll have to see what goes on in the morning with the gap, and we'll see what we're working with going on then. Obviously, we can't really come up with a game plan until we see that and what's going on in the morning, but that's what we're working with today. That's what happened today. Nothing crazy. Like I said, market didn't react very harsh with either of those press releases this morning. So something to keep in mind. Definitely head into tomorrow with a nice outlook on the day. Remember, it is Friday. We have to protect those gains. If you haven't been profitable on the week, Friday is a time to really focus in on your goals and your rules. Don't break your rules on a Friday trying to go green. Stay disciplined. Don't go chase anything. Really let the play come to you. If it's not there, don't force it. Get a head start on your weekend and do what traders are supposed to be doing, enjoying life. We have the freedom and the time to step away from the computers and do what we like. Make sure you do that. I'll see you guys in chat tomorrow.